Everyone. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to meet here with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm here today to talk about building a healthier workforce, and I'll be showing you multiple solutions to solve the growing healthcare costs that American businesses are facing today. Specifically, we'll be taking a look at how corporate wellness programs can help companies cut costs, improve morale, and increase productivity within the workplace. Let's start by talking about costs. Healthcare costs in America have skyrocketed over the past decade or so. In fact, poor health now costs the U.S. economy $576 billion each year. $227 billion of that comes from lost productivity alone, given that 1 in 5 workers has had a health-related problem that has hurt their productivity. That fact makes many employers spend lots of time and money in trying to keep their employees healthy. In fact, many companies spend up to 50% of their profits on healthcare costs alone. And these costs aren't going to come down anytime soon. By 2017, total healthcare spending in the U.S. will reach $4.3 trillion. That accounts for 20% of the U.S. GDP. So, all this raises the question, why do we spend so much on healthcare in this country? Now, many people argue that the problem is the system itself and that the government has to fix it. And while that might be true, there are other simpler solutions that we as business people can implement right now in order to cut costs. This graphic shows a breakdown of the costs of health and wellness in various areas. As business people, it's hard for us to deal with the cost of chronic disease and the cost of treatment. However, we do have solutions to deal with the cost of lost productivity, the cost of obesity, and the cost of tobacco usage. Let's start by talking about the cost of obesity. Obese employees are more absent than their normal weight coworkers, and their medical costs are 42% higher. Looking here, we can see that overweight and obese men take 5 sick days per year, which is 2 more than normal weight men. And obese women take 5 to 8 sick days per year, which is 2 to 5 more than normal weight women. Clearly, it'd be beneficial for a company to offer some sort of weight management program in order to deal with these costs. Looking back here, another area we can deal with is the cost of lost productivity, or the cost of tobacco usage. Companies spend $6,000 per year for each employee they have that smokes. This breakdown from the Ohio State University shows that over $2,000 comes from the extra healthcare costs alone. And I recommend that companies offer some sort of group clinic program in order to encourage these employees to stop smoking. Oftentimes these types of programs are offered as a part of a more comprehensive corporate wellness program. Corporate wellness programs are becoming more and more popular over the past few years. In fact, according to the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 79% of employees in a large-sized business now have access to these programs. So that raises the questions why and how. Why are businesses choosing to implement these programs, and how are these programs benefiting businesses? Well, when we look at the raw data, the answer is pretty clear. When companies implement wellness programs, they see a 28% decrease in employee sick days, a 26% decrease in healthcare costs, a 30% decrease in workers' compensation claims, and $5 to $12 in savings per employee. These programs also have a great impact on the workplace atmosphere. Things such as wellness challenges between departments or comrades just going to the gym together after work all help build a sense of camaraderie. 77% of employees think that their wellness program enhanced their workplace atmosphere. This leads to employees who are happier with their company, more pleased with their benefits, and highly satisfied with their current position. This bottom one is key because if they're highly satisfied with their current position, they're less likely to leave the company. And this could lead to lower costs in training and recruiting new employees. Looking back here, the last area we can deal with is the cost of lost productivity. Ultimately, healthier employees take less time off of work. Absent and less productive employees can cost 2 to 3 times more than the cost of implementing and maintaining a wellness program. It also helps deal with what is known as presenteeism. And that's the extent that an illness adversely affects the productivity of those who choose to go to work. Essentially, we all know people who choose to go to work even when they're sick. And these people get a whole lot less work done. By implementing wellness programs, we can begin to chip away at this hidden but costly issue. Ultimately, these programs help companies cut costs. Under the Affordable Care Act, there are now government grants and tax breaks available to companies that implement them. As I mentioned earlier, companies also spend less on recruiting new employees because their current employees are happier with their company and position. And finally, many insurance companies offer lower corporate insurance premiums to companies that can prove that they've successfully implemented one of these programs. Out of all the companies that have implemented corporate wellness programs, 61% have seen a decrease in medical costs, 78% have seen a decrease in absenteeism, and 80% have seen an increase in productivity. So, with all this in mind, I've developed my wellness initiative for a mid-sized business. The businesses I'm targeting are located in Troy, Michigan, which is a large business hub and suburb located about 15 miles north of Detroit. There, 57% of adults have a college degree, while the U.S. average is about 25%. There are 10,682 businesses, and 91.5% of people have health insurance. So if we can implement wellness solutions in this community, we'll have a great impact on everybody who lives and works there. One of these companies that could use this program is New World Systems. It employs 400 people to provide software solutions for the public sector. By implementing the program that I recommend, New World Systems will have great impact on both their corporate atmosphere and on their bottom line. The program that I recommend starts out with the basics, which includes free or reduced cost gym memberships and free flu shots for all employees. It's also a good idea to encourage having walking meetings instead of sitting in somebody's office. And finally, it's extremely important to have healthier food options in the cafeteria. Now, you know the saying that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Oftentimes, wellness programs face a similar issue. Employees aren't going to take advantage of the program unless there's a great enough incentive for them to get involved. And so that's where an incentive-based wellness initiative comes in. Essentially, the plan that I propose offers monetary benefits for completing different wellness tasks. It launches a central healthcare website that each employee can log into. And there, they get a customized cafeteria-style offering of various programs that they can take part in and the monetary values associated with them. For example, there's $65 for completing an annual physical, or $75 for completing a wellness challenge. In total, an employee can make up to $400 per year by picking and choosing these various activities. And now I'd like to show you a video from CBS News that shows one of these programs in action.
For this New Jersey businesswoman, the spark to better health came from her employer. It pays workers up to $1,000 a year to make measurable improvements to their health. For every dollar a company spends on a corporate wellness program, there is a $3 to $6 return on investment. At this company, the path to wellness starts with a few simple steps. Everyone in the program gets a pedometer like this one, and every step is counted. The more you walk, the more money you get. Keeping track of your progress is simple. Just plug the pedometer into your PC. Elaine Quijano, CBS News, New York.
I really like the pedometer program that this company offered, and I highly recommend that companies offer something similar to that. But instead, I would use some of the newer technologies that have come out in the past few years, such as the Fitbit. Fitbit's currently one of the hottest items in consumer health and wellness, and now they have a great enterprise solution. In fact, I'm wearing one right here today. My Fitbit's currently tracking how many steps I've taken, the total flights of stairs I've climbed, and even knows how well I slept last night. Under their new corporate solution, Fitbit automatically sends a report to management to show the company's overall progress. This is hard data that shows the success of the wellness program. And it also automatically connects to the incentive website to reward employees for their progress. It's also important to communicate to employees about the incentive-based program through various avenues, such as the weekly electronic newsletters like the ones included in your folders, using various social media outlets, and posting updates on the Central Healthcare website. Ultimately, these programs come down to costs. Effective programs range between $100 and $400 per employee, and companies within this range can expect to save 3 times their investment. So, by implementing solutions such as this, companies in Troy will be able to cut costs, improve morale, and increase productivity within their workplace. Again, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'm open to any questions that you may have.